Yo, welcome back to the Lum and Loud podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Bilal.
Yo, and it's your boy, Pharaoh Lum. We in the building at TT Studios once again.
You already know. Right here in Pittsburgh, PA.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even really get to talk before we shot. And I feel like that's going to be kind of the overall theme of how we do shit. It's going to be real candid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to start off with just kind of like placing us in a topic of what does it take to be great? You know what I mean? I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Like, what does it take to be great? I'm gonna shut this window behind us because we don't need these cars interrupting us.
Yeah. What does it take to be great? That's an interesting take. One of the things I was planning on bringing up, I feel like it kind of goes into that. You know what I mean? I was talking to you about in the hall a little bit was the Draymond Green situation.
What about it?
Just that. What does it take to be great? You know, that can be no matter what field you're in. That can be different things for different people.
Facts.
For him, it takes a certain amount of intensity to be great. It takes being really intense when you are a 6'7" power forward who's trying to guard 6'9", 6'10", 7-foot monsters and guards out in the wing, and you have to make your value known and stand out on a team where there's two dudes who are shooting from 85 feet. So their value is mad obvious, but you're still valuable. So it's like what it takes to be great. Sometimes, you know, I feel like the things that you can sacrifice to be great or the things you have to do to be great can kind of eat away at you. So sometimes it's kind of a balance between people where it's like, how much am I willing to sacrifice?
How much am I willing to give up?
I would say sacrifice is really, really what you need to be great, whether it be time, sometimes, you know what I mean?
That's at the core of it. Like, sacrifice is at the core of the pursuit of even happiness, greatness. I would say greatness and happiness to me are the same things.
Yeah.
Because to me, being happy is centered around feeling like I am purposeful, feeling like I'm doing my purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is greatness to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's all wrapped into one bundle. So I agree with you. Sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice. I would say, and it's just, you know, it bothers me when I see people work so hard to be great. You know what I mean? Just thinking about people like him, and then, you know, you can almost do one or two different things, and you have people, you know, criticizing you or doing whatever. So now, granted, he did knock his teammate out in practice. So I don't want to.
Which to me is wild.
It's insane. That's like insanity. That he really knocked his teammate out in practice.
For what though? Like,
who knows? They were arguing about something. You seen them off and out. But the other thing that's bad is that, like, another thing I hate, besides the sacrifice, which is a whole nother thing, is like, I hate how susceptible we are to the way we the way that we receive information being the way that determines how we react to the information we receive. Like, there's a video.
That's all propaganda. Yeah.
The video to me, like, this happens all the time. Like, shoot.
Every time. Last
year, we was watching The Last Dance, and when Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face in practice in The Last Dance, there was no video, but when we heard about it, everybody was, oh, he's so intense. He just wanted to win. You know what I mean? It's just,
right.
And now it's just kind of like, and obviously everything that was cool in the 80s and 90s definitely isn't cool in 2022, excuse me. There's a lot of things we let go back then, but it's just like, I understand the level of intensity that he has to have all the time to be great. Also, you know, he said he was going through some stuff at home, and that kind of led to it. That could have led to the punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I've done a lot of things in my life where I look back and I'm like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I refuse to do internally is, like, internally, I don't allow myself to have an excuse that wipes something away. Like, it's cool. Like, I get it. You're going through stuff at home, right? Like, I get it. Your kids don't like it when you're hype. Like, his kid said that when he was like, "Nigga, you yelling too much." But whatever else he's going through, I'm sure that's not it, right?
Yeah.
But whatever he's going through at home, like, my nigga, don't punch him. Like, there's nothing in my life that would make me snap on you. Like, you as my homie, my brother, I would never snap on you just because of what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
So I feel like, And just because niggas play for the same team don't mean they friends. Let's get that clear.
Yeah, but he does speak about him like he's his brother. You know, he talks about him like he's his brother. He champions him, and you know,
Right.
that's part of the reason why they say those guys win all the time is because of the culture that you have. When you have your leader doing something like that, it definitely kind of hurts your culture. And it's not. You know, when you're doing something like that, that's definitely not something you do when you want to be great. You know what I mean? You don't punch your teammate in the face when you want to be great. But even besides just in general of just being great, let's get to the other side of sports, because there's the competitive side. There's the dollar side of sports too. What is up with these athletes doing this dumb shit in contract years? And I'm not even judging. Like the year, like Miles Turner was supposed to get for the Hornets was on track to get between $80 and $100 million.
Yeah.
Got a domestic abuse.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, like, we see others who are in any type of limelight when it comes to entertainment. We see them as their commodity.
Yeah.
They never see themselves. I shouldn't say never, but I think very rarely and definitely less often than we do they see themselves as a commodity. Like, we're looking at it like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we can pick out anything. We can pick out any example, like any rapper who, you know, is just like, oh, you got an album coming out. Why the fuck would you do that? Yeah. Or, you know, you're big right now. Why are you still playing in the streets? Or, you know what I mean? Or why would you be arguing with your girlfriend when you know it's contract year? Like, that nigga ain't thinking about contract year. He just see him. He just going through life every day. Like, he don't even notice the changes, or he don't even really notice the subtle nuances that everyone else is like, yo, it's the same thing when playing sports. Like, I didn't really enjoy playing basketball that much just because I couldn't see shit. Like, playing with, I didn't have the glasses to play, and so I couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
But like, when I'm watching a game, you know, just like you, when you watching a game, you see every fucking thing. You're like, nigga, why would you do that dumb shit? Like, I just watched the game the other day. I think it was the fucking Kansas City Chiefs was going off.
Yeah.
And this nigga could have got a touchdown if he just bounced out inside for like 2 yards, like just bounced inside. And it's like, my nigga, why don't you bounce inside? Well, his perspective ain't mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that kind of goes for life too. When you looking at mistakes, I just be feeling it's more so the anger is more so coming from like sadness, kind of like when you see your kid fall or your mom fall. You're just mad, and it's just like, dang, bro, you was about to get $80 million. I've seen you improve on your game since you came into the league. You know, you running with LaMelo Ball and all that, but it's just like you make a move like that. It's the same thing for me as Draymond. It's like, dang, bro, like. And you know, you're about to get paid. Not that he hasn't made a lot of money, but you're about to get paid. You know what I mean? You just won a championship. You guys have a chance to repeat again. Yeah. And you hit the dude that everybody's already, you know, comparing you to, because they're already wondering who they're going to keep contract year. And that's the other thing with sports, you know, it's a game and a business, so they only can keep a couple of people. So now it's weird, you know. It's kind of like just the group dynamic of looking at like dynasties and stuff. It takes a lot of sacrifice to be great. So it's just sad when you see a group of people that were so dedicated to each other and dedicated to being great almost come to an end, because I already thought that they weren't going to re-sign Draymond before the year, just because they got so many young guns over there, you know what I mean? And they got a lot of young talent. And my whole thing is like the NBA, just my experience in watching basketball, I don't know how long you can be I'm a huge Draymond fan, but I don't know how long you can be a 6'7" power forward who really can't shoot in today's NBA. When you're older and, you know, you need your athleticism to defend these dudes who are bigger and stronger and faster than you, because, you know, you use your mind, but you need your athleticism. So I just don't know how long that's going to last. They got a kid there. The kid that you just punched in the face looks like the second coming of Steph Curry. They're not letting him walk out the door.
Yeah, bro.
And Andrew Wiggins was damn near the finals MVP. So it's just sad when you see people, you know what I mean? When you see people dedicated to greatness, you know what I mean, break up. Because you don't, you know, you asked at the beginning, like, what does it take? What does it take to be great?
Right.
You just hope, when you think about what it takes to be great, I mean, I hope that on the average person doesn't look around at people they love and be like, I hope it don't take that to be great. And how great is too great? And before the sacrifice becomes too much.
But also, you know, it's different for people that are famous, because their fame influences them to do extra shit. Yeah. Like, the public eye influences you to do extra shit. You know what I mean? Like for example, if some random Pittsburgh rapper today made a diss track about me, I can't guarantee that I would even feel like responding. If I didn't like if I didn't feel like that person's career had any value. Like if his career had no value to me, I can't guarantee that I would even pay attention to it. But if it was someone where it's like, okay, you have fans, I'm definitely going to respond.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
You know what I mean? But it's like that level of fame. So now when you're the famous motherfucker and you're the target, a lot of people feel like they have to be dedicated to saving face, or being dedicated to preserving their idea of the brand,
their image,
what they
look like to other people. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like for the regular motherfucker, for the everyday motherfucker, like I'm thinking like, what does it take for the motherfucker on the bus right now who working 2 jobs and they try and get it out the mud? Like, what does it take for them to be great? You know what I mean? Of course, there's technical moves. There's technical moves that need to be made, but like before the technical moves, there has to be a dedication to some principle, because only standing on principles can get you, all the way there.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you know what I mean, based upon the people that I know who have made it to a place in life where I'm trying to get to next. Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta stand on principle. And sometimes niggas luck up. Sometimes people get that lucky ass draw, like, oh, we're gonna sign you, we're gonna give you all this bread. That's not necessarily lucky because it's a big ass loan. But depending on what you do with it, a loan is a loan. I've seen motherfuckers make millions of dollars off of loans.
Yeah.
But
facts.
You gotta know what you're doing with the loan though. You can't just take the loan and spend it on a bunch of shit that you can't recruit. You know what I mean? You spend it on diamond jewelry and cars and shit. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking like greatness, and when I'm saying that, right? Like, what is greatness? Like, it comes from just my own pursuit, but also like watching people struggle and watching them fall in love with their struggle, because their struggle helps them identify with, I would say, like,
who they are.
Yeah, but just like the people around them, the culture. Yeah. Struggle is deeply embedded in the culture. You know what I mean?
Definitely our
like
culture.
Niggas be like, oh, I got 3 jobs, like I work hard. And it's like, I don't know why you feel like that's a good thing. You got 3 jobs and you're asking me for $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to say that that's, I'm not shitting on them people.
No, I know what you mean.
I grew up with that. Like,
I think it's just a matter of, it's like what you were saying before, bro. One of the things that I seen that I feel like we all have an issue with, because I don't want to be like a R people or type of thing. Including myself, that we all have an issue with, is just sacrifice, bro.
Yeah,
it's sacrifice, bro.
The shit that you don't give up will be the shit that
and it's because of the struggle, bro. You got the person, and I don't want to just name anybody that I know, but you got the person who struggled all year to get the degree, you know what I mean? And when they get the degree, they get a little bit of money back from their tax return, and they could spend that money on their tax return on, maybe some new gear for work, maybe, maybe uploading a rec, maybe getting hiring somebody to replenish their resume. Maybe they need a car, down payment on a car, but they think, no, I struggled. I'm not sacrificing. I struggle too much. I deserve a vacation. So they spend all their money on vacation. And then they come back and they get back to the struggle because they done put themselves behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of times it's just the fact that we don't really want to make, those sacrifices. A lot of the people, like, to be honest, all the stories that I hear about people that made it to places, that I want to make it to, maybe it's just because of the culture and everything, but most of those people come from struggle. You know what I mean? I rarely hear, unless everybody's just, and obviously, you never know if everybody's telling the truth or not, but, supposedly Jeff Bezos was sleeping in a garage somewhere, and obviously, you feel like white privilege and everything's coming up factors like that. He probably wasn't. But
I don't remember which one of them. I'm sure it was all of them whose parents were like doing well when they.
Well, if you're talking about PayPal Mafia, I think he was separate from them. I know Elon and all them boys was in PayPal Mafia and shit, and they all kind of had that one up. But even just thinking about, I had a dude who I worked for at a pizza shop when I was younger, and I was asking him how he got the pizza shop, and he showed me a picture of 9 Turkish dudes sleeping in a 1-bedroom apartment on the floor, eating sardines. If I told any of my friends, like, yo, you want to start a business one day, and those dudes I was talking about, I'm not going to act like I know how much money they had, but they always came in foreign cars, you know what I mean, Gucci'd up. They had enough money to take care of them and their family. They had multiple shops. They had other sources of income. And that started from them wanting to come over here and being able to sacrifice enough to the point that they were able to take 9 guys in a 1-bedroom apartment sleeping on the floor. They literally are all eating tuna and different stuff. They were showing me the food in a picture. And this is like a picture with just them in a room and canned food and stuff like that. I'm inclined to believe them. You know what I mean? So it's just like
collective sacrifice. And
see, like a lot of these people come from sacrifice. You know what I mean? At some point in time, whether even if you never had to sacrifice financially, there was a week, I guarantee, between him having those books and having Amazon now, where he didn't sleep more than 20 hours an hour.
Hell yeah. I mean,
there's no
I
way.
was just thinking, when I said I don't believe that shit, I was really just speaking from the destitute financially aspect. The level of sacrifice that he had to put in, I'm not shitting on.
Oh, no.
Because there was definitely
facts.
sacrifice.
Facts. He had a different type of sacrifice than we had.
I was just thinking like, oh, nigga, don't hit me with that. I only had $1 in my pocket shit. I don't believe it. But
yeah, but you like you said, everybody's the way to be great and everybody's path to be great and the things you have to sacrifice to be great, that's like different for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's time, sometimes it's money, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's relationships.
Right now I'm realizing for me, I think the sacrifice that I have to give up is time.
Yeah, bro.
Like I really enjoy having downtime. And I think that in order to get to the level that I envision, I have to be completely okay with my downtime being like an hour or less.
Bro, to be honest, I was literally just having that conversation at home with my girl, telling her she was just worried about, kind of thinking about being able to spend time with me while she goes to school and different stuff and us. And I'm like, yo, we're both on the grind trying to improve our lives right now. You know, we got to be ready to support each other because like time's important. And if we really want to get to a level where we can live more comfortably, you know what I mean, and have like a base for the fam to live more comfortably, sacrifice is going to be needed. Like when I look at people who I want to be like, you know what I mean, some of the people that I look up to, the reason I look up to them is because the amount of opportunities that they can create for people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the amount of doors they can open, but none of them people get there without sacrifice. Even talking about, you know, somebody like Tyler Perry. How many people are willing to sleep you're willing to do a lot for your art? I've seen a lot of artists in Pittsburgh talk about they deserve to get paid. Nigga, are you willing to sleep in a fucking car for your art? Or you willing to sleep in a car for your art? And I ain't saying that's a good or bad idea. Trust me, I'm not recommending or telling nobody they should sleep in their car to prove that or that was a smart thing for him to do. I wasn't in his situation, but I know, you know, from his story, at least from his word, that's what he was willing to do. Like, what are you willing to do? What type of sacrifices are you willing to make? Most of these dudes can't even sacrifice their outfits for art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't sacrifice their PlayStation 5s for art. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people I know, like, and everybody has different things they have to be great. Some people have a lot of liabilities and things they got to take care of. But to me, it's about like the sacrifice. Like, what are you willing? Even when I'm talking to people about like younger artists and certain stuff, you know what I mean? Because we've had a little bit of experience looking at certain deals and had people around us getting deals and stuff. It's like, don't go into these deals thinking about what you don't, what you won't, what you're not willing to. Go into them thinking about what you are willing to give up. Figure that out. Put it down in paper. Take it in there. Because that's what makes the deal. Deals aren't made off of what you won't do. There's no deal that's like, okay, here's all the things that I won't do and I'm going to sign this.
Right.
The deals are built off of what you they're signed off of what you will do. When you go into do business, you need to figure out exactly what you will do. That'll tell you everything you won't.
And the thing about like asking someone what you're willing to do for your art, and we're speaking in terms of art because we're artists. But asking someone that question, I don't think a person can properly answer it until they take the step. Because someone would say, yeah, I'm willing to da-da-da. Like, all right, for example, like a perfect one is reshaping your body, working out, body transformation, or what they call, what is it? The term they use for when a motherfucker goes from fat to just fucking Goku? Not body reshaping, not body transformation. I fucking forgot the term everybody uses. But you're like, all right, well, what are you willing to give up to get here? You know what I mean? And it's basically the craziest part about it is all you really have to do is look up, just educate yourself on basic workouts, be dedicated to the basic workouts, and be dedicated to eating and not eating certain things. Like it's literally three things, but those three things have branches that make them. I don't even want to say they're a little bit more complicated than what they are, because I don't really think that they're more complicated. I think that we find ways to make ourselves think about them as like impossible things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do. It's a sacrifice, bro. It goes back to the struggle. We don't want to sacrifice. When we think about sacrificing anything, it's like, nah, I just got off work. I'm not about to sacrifice my, I'm saying, Hershey Kisses, my, I'm saying, my Debbie cakes,
my downtime,
my fried chicken, my time on my show. I'm not going. I want to watch my show, so I'm not going to the gym.
Fucking Hungry Man.
Yeah,
do they even make those shits anymore?
Yeah, probably. I believe they probably do make Hungry Man. I need my Hungry Man dinner.
You know, it's like I just seen something today, and I don't know what the interview was from, because of course somebody used it as a fucking sound for the reel when they weren't doing shit in the background. But it was like, what was the biggest lie you've ever heard in your life? And the motherfucker said the biggest lie he's ever heard was, it's not that simple. And they were like, well, what's not simple? And he was like, everything. And he was like, they tell you it's not that simple to discourage you or to justify their own lack of sacrifice.
Yes.
When in reality, when you get up and do it, it really is just that simple. Like, I'll take a small example. Like, so occasionally I drive Uber, right? And driving Uber to me is one of those things where it fits perfectly in this example, because before I drive, like if I know when I wake up today or I wake up tomorrow and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drive at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Before 5 o'clock come, I have a whole bunch of things in my head that are starting to build up to make me feel like I don't have to drive, or it's gonna not be worth it, or today isn't the best day, or there's not a promotion thing going on. Like, I have all these things. It's like, nah. But when I make myself get in a car after the first 2 trips, I'm just rolling. After the first trip, it's like, all right, I'm rolling.
Yeah.
And then I'm just rolling. And it's the same thing like with making a beat. Like I'll be like, because making a beat for me is just like a whole like mental game. Like I'm like, I'm not good at playing the piano. Like I don't have perfect sounds. I can't, you know what I mean? But then once I just like allow myself to do it, when I just start doing it, like some of the shit that I've done that I felt was really good, I didn't have any hang-ups. I wasn't allowing myself to have hang-ups, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go.
Yeah, most of the time. I feel like most of the time, you just gotta do that shit.
Go. In the words of the, of the man Shia LaBeouf himself, just do it. Can't really say it like him. I want a vein to pop out my head, but just do it. Get up off your ass and do it. That was like one of my favorite videos when that video dropped.
Just get up off your ass and do it, man. What does it take to be great? It takes action and sacrifice, man.
Yes.
It takes action and sacrifice.
Yes.
And I think the thing about sacrifice, though, is it's actually, I think, extremely easy for people to know, not to do the sacrificing, but to know what needs to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Like all of us know what you're doing, what you have in your life that needs to be sacrificed for you to obtain your goal. Now, I don't think I've ever met a person who doesn't know what they need to give up.
Yeah.
It's just the giving up.
Yeah.
The part of giving up, because everybody knows it's like, oh, I need to stop eating so much ice cream. Oh, I need to stop having this one friend. I need to stop engaging in this one activity. I need to stop overthinking. You know what I mean? I need to stop. And that brings me to another point, right? Overthinking. Like I was having a conversation with a coworker, and they were like, I was just talking. I had a thought, right? Let's call it a shower thought. I had a shower thought, and I was like, you know how you stop yourself from overthinking or outthinking yourself of doing something?
Yeah.
The easiest way to do that is, and it sounds redundant, it sounds crazy, and it sounds like, oh, it's not that simple, but it really is. The easiest way to get yourself out of overthinking is to get up and do something.
Yeah. Like
to literally do something. Like when I wake up, I realize the only thing that keeps me in bed and hitting snooze is overthinking getting up. Yeah. Like if I'm thinking too much about getting the fuck up, I'm like, yo, man, like, damn, I can sleep some more. Like, I don't necessarily have to go to the gym. I can bust out some push-ups, sit-up squats at the crib. oh man, like, you know, this water gonna be cold. Let me get a couple, cause I take cold showers. I'm like, let me get 5 more minutes for it. Nah, like, the days where I just be like, yo, fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a voice in my head that I allow to be louder than all the voices. That's just like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like my Brawley voice that's just like about to come through and beat every voice's ass. Like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And when I just get up and do that shit, it really is just that simple.
Yeah.
Like, the mental chains that we have are so fucking strong.
So strong. People don't give their mental power enough fortitude. I tell people all the time that I feel like are thinking down. I'm like, you don't understand the power of positive thinking. I'm like, I feel like what your thinking can either. I've seen thinking take people to places where they can support their entire family and have a types of freedom that they never thought they would see. And I've seen thinking take people to literally under a bridge somewhere. Inside a box. That's the power of thinking that you have. We only think about the mental equivalent of it when it's bad. The depression, the anxiety and stuff, but you don't really understand the stuff that you can accomplish when you really just put your mind to something. Because all those people, you know, a lot of people who did crazy historic stuff, they were insane to people who were around them.
Yeah.
They were insane. You know what I mean? There ain't no way that people didn't think Tyler Perry sleeping in his car talking about he was going to have a media empire dressing like a woman wasn't insane. I would have been like, yeah, bro, you know, congrats. I probably would have been nice. I wouldn't have thought it would have popped out like that, but you got to have that unshakable, like, confidence in yourself and to not take it personal, honestly. With me, a big thing with me in art is, like, to come to a place where I didn't take it personal when I felt like people really didn't believe in what I was doing or support what I was doing. I really didn't take it personal, even though I had people who did and had people who do. It's like, everybody don't believe in themselves. And if you can't, you know, gather the belief in yourself or see yourself doing anything great, it's going to be hard for you to look around and see somebody else around you accomplishing or doing anything great.
Right.
And certain things I accomplished, they're like, yo, I didn't think you was going to do that. I'm like, you know what I mean? You got to have confidence in that. But I don't really take nothing like that personal just because I know with people, like, in general, like, there's people I love that I believe in wholeheartedly. And I'll be telling them, like, yo, I'll see the talent. I'll be like, yo, you can do X, Y, and Z. And they'll look at me like, nah, I don't think I can do that. Like, I got a homie who's probably the most talented dude I know. Can sew, can draw. He's an ill barber.
Yeah.
Like, one of the most talented dudes I know. You know what I mean? But he don't really put a lot into those talents. You know what I mean? I feel like he's always kind of searching for something because he don't see the belief in himself to get those things done. Like, he'll dabble in it. There's so much that he can do. He can do tattoos. Like, there's just mad. He's a very talented dude. But when you don't have the belief, the talent don't mean anything. Because there's people who have...
The belief is,
Bro, people who have a quarter, no matter what field you in, art, film, rap, opera, there's people who have a quarter of the talent of some people, but they have 4 times the belief, 4 times the grind. They gonna get on.
Yeah.
Regardless, they gonna get on. Less talent or what, they gonna get on because they're not gonna stop. Right. And when you come in and paint one time, they gonna paint 4 times. They get 4 times as better. When you lay one verse, they gonna lay 4. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you're doing one set of push-ups and going home because you feel good about yourself. They're doing 9. Right. So it's just like, I feel like it's a mental, because, you know, hard work beats talent. Like the Draymond thing. What does it take to be great? Sometimes it takes you changing your body and forgetting the fact that you've been averaging 20-something points since high school and realizing that your NBA career is going to be averaging 6.
Yeah.
And blocking people. And that's your way to be great.
Yeah.
That's your way to be great. You know what I'm saying? That's your way to... Everybody can't see that path of sacrifice, you know, because he's great. But a lot of people can't see 6, 9, and 7 as being great. And when you look at him, you're like, no, this dude is great. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of sacrifice.
And I think also it's harder to take the road that's less shiny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because the shiny road, everybody wants to live on the shiny road. I would wager to say this, that I would say that the overwhelming majority of artists who are unknown but make, you know, that make $11,000, $10,000 a month are living better, if not just as good as some of the artists that you know are making millions of dollars an album.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the thing is like,
for sure,
the road that's less shiny usually has a lot of privacy. It usually has a lot of, in my opinion, less distractions. Like, there's less people that are putting input on your actions. And I think that You know, well, not Draymond Green is different because he attracts attention. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of niggas that play Draymond Green's role that, if you think about the Kevin Love, like,
yeah.
I mean, Kevin Love was putting buckets down, but like,
but you're right though. He had to make that when he won a championship. He wasn't putting as many buckets down as he was before.
Right, but he also was not.
With
like,
Braun and them.
He also played a vital role, but a lot of people who are like, who love, now I won't say love basketball. A lot of people don't know his name.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know Kevin Love's name.
Yeah.
Like people who love basketball know his name.
Yeah.
But like the average person that knows LeBron and knows Steph Curry, you like, yo, you like Kevin Love? You're like, bro, who's Kevin Love?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people like that. Shoot, there's probably 15 other people. Shoot, if I asked the average person who kind of watches basketball, who are the other people who started on that team besides Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love? People don't know.
Right, and the thing is like he played a vital role, like
a super vital.
He played. Role. He took the road that was less shiny, but
yeah,
there was a level of he has a level of privacy and reduced stimulus that I value. I value that because I often think like, yo, do I want to be a mega star? No, not really.
Bro, like
I want to do a lot.
I wouldn't mind me and Kevin Love. Kevin Love is a champion, multi-time All-Star, and is going to be a Hall of Famer who's made hundreds of millions of dollars, and most of the time, probably can walk down the street.
That's the thing. My nigga can go into Trader Joe's right now.
And I'll know, but most people won't know. They'll be like, well, that guy's tall. They'll be looking at him like,
oh, do you play basketball? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's funny when you can get
I value
all
that shit.
Yeah, I value it too. Everybody don't. You know, some people think it's, you know, something to to not value. Like I think the big ongoing joke with Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, when Kenny Smith talks about him not winning championships, and he was just like, yeah, he's seeing you. He's like, that's the dude ain't win no championships. And Charles Barkley was like, yeah, with the parking lot attendant seeing you, and he said, who's that? Because everybody know Charles Barkley, but it's like you said about Kevin Love. A lot of people don't know Kenny Smith. Played with Akeem Olajuwon, New York legend, 2-time NBA champion. Yeah. Fine player. Average NBA player. He could walk through this room right now and I'll be like, bro, you know who that is? And you'd be like, no, you know who that is? You know what I'm saying? So,
but that's fine though. Like the thing is like, I think sometimes we point out, we act like that's not valuable. Yeah. And it's cool because it's like, okay, your career was not the level of impact on culture, on media culture, to where people know you. Yeah, that's cool. But ask the superstar on his team, could he have done it without him?
Oh yeah, they're gonna say no. They're gonna say no. I've seen plenty of people that like were those players that were on whenever there's a champion, like definitely in the NBA, there's always that dude who comes out of nowhere. There's always that dude who is like, oh yeah, we needed him to come and do this. You know, every single time, like you need one of them. Like there's always that random dude who comes off the bench, whether he gives you a spark or you know what I'm saying, D's up and takes the best player out the game. There's always those. You need people. You know, you need sacrifice for real. A lot of times you need teamwork to be great. To be honest, there's a couple forms of great where you can be great by yourself, but you know, like how great can you be completely by yourself? 100% by yourself.
That's a great question. Completely. How great can you be completely by yourself?
Like,
I would wager to say that completely by yourself, you're useless. Even if you can do things for yourself and sustain yourself. The reason why I say you're useless is because I think the purpose of life is to perpetuate life. Yeah. And that doesn't just mean like, oh, people are supposed to have kids, but you're supposed to interact and impact others in ways that influence them to grow and heal and do all the things that are necessary to be their best versions. Like our purpose, we all have like multiple purpose, I think, but one of every being, not even just human, every being's base purpose is to interact with others and make an impact. Yeah. So if you're completely by yourself, I think you're kind of useless, even if you can sustain yourself. Yeah, I agree. I think you're definitely useless if you're by yourself. You need that, and anybody who is great. I mean, a lot of people in a lot of forms, whether it be art or, you know, when we're talking about music or even like in sports, the recognition and the people and people seeing your form and how you perform and really following the things that you did to be great kind of solidifies the fact that you are great, or you great with no witnesses. You're great if you're. I feel like you can be great with no witness.
If you're fulfilling your own definition of great, then you're great. Yeah. It depends on what definition of great you would have. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm great at a lot of things, or can you be great in a lot of these things without witnesses there? You know what I mean? And can you be great without opposition? I feel
not in certain things like music. I mean, you can be great.
Yeah.
But when I say when I'm asking about greatness, I think I'm speaking about it in the terms of like its impact on your life and others and other people's lives.
Yeah. I feel like that's a big thing too. That's the big Jordan LeBron argument. You know what I mean? Even when you go about championships and stuff, it's like we know who had like if you take shoes out of the equation, of course, we know who's kind of had a bigger reach and impact off the court. You know what I mean?
I mean, to me, people are gonna always debate this, and they should, because people always want to debate MJ and Prince. People's always want to debate MJ and Braun, two different MJs, right?
Yeah.
People's always going to debate Mike Tyson and Ali.
Yes.
Like people are always going to debate these things, so it's whatever. But to me personally, I think that LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. I don't think that he's a hungrier basketball player.
Yeah.
I think that he's a better basketball player. I think that maybe once in a generation you'll find someone as hungry as Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Jordan was the hungriest basketball player of all time.
I haven't watched a lot of people because I don't consume
Kobe being in a
basketball
close second. Like I haven't seen a lot of people that I've watched a lot of basketball.
Kobe is definitely because I said once in a generation.
Yeah.
Kobe's the other one.
Yeah, because the game ain't filled with them dudes who are going to die if they lose anymore. There's only a couple of them dudes. Kobe would literally like die if he lost. It's like I don't give a. It's like I don't care. Like I was just watching that Last Dance doc. Not Last Dance doc. The Redeem Team doc.
Yeah, when he fucked up Paul Gasol.
When he fucked up Paul Gasol, and it's like, yo, first play of the game. I know what they're gonna run. Paul's gonna be the last pick. I gotta come around. I'm running through that motherfucker's chest. Yeah. And everybody's like, you ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? He said, bro, you ain't gonna do that. That's your teammate. And he said, when they seen that, it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm willing to do to be great.
Yeah.
I would run through your chest. He said, fuck you, get up. He ain't my teammate right now.
He made sure that everybody around him was on dog shit like him.
Yeah, like of course that's what he brought him there to do. Like that was a person. That's a good thing. That's a good equivalent of what are you willing to do to be great. Like Kobe was willing to do a lot to be great. And I had a weird relationship as far as a fan with Kobe. Because like I grew up hating him so much, like just because. My cousin, my closest cousin, you know, we always had rivalries. We would each pick our favorite X-Men, favorite Power Rangers, favorite whoever. Yeah. And he picked Kobe when we were young, probably when he was coming out of high school, and I picked T-Mac. It was before they were even Kobe and T-Mac. I was like, oh, well, that's my guy right there. When he went to Orlando, you know what I mean? And then, you know, before that, Kobe went on to win 3 championships. Yeah. I was just sick of Kobe winning all the time. But then I got to see him, you know, go through the controversy he went through, you know what I mean, where he had to build his reputation back up. I got to see Shaq leave him and win the championship in his face. Right. A couple years after he left, I got to see him miss the playoffs, and I got to see him build himself back up with a whole new team that he had full command of, and like really make the sacrifices to be great. To take himself from the dude who who's already a great all-time shooting guard, probably already arguably number 2, but just the 3 championships with Shaq, how dominant he was, you could argue.
I think
to take him to another level.
You
know what I mean?
I think that definitely, because like again, like. The greatness is measured differently. You know what I mean? Like LeBron is great for basketball, but he's also simultaneously great for culture. And the reason why I put LeBron over Michael Jordan is because I've always desired to see the days where you see Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, Malcolm X sitting around the table. Yeah. It was Sidney Poitier. I believe Sidney Poitier was there. I might be mistaken. And communicating about what is black media going to do for black nation building. Like what we going. Yeah. I feel like LeBron is today's 2020 plus model of a black media star being a part of the development of black culture.
He's damn sure the closest thing we got to one of those athletes who spoke up, because even if we have, because I mean, I want to, you know, give, you know, everybody their, even Al Farouk, Aminu and shit, like people like, not Al Farouk, Aminu, I'm trying to think. There's an older dude who was like the first Colin Kaepernick in the NBA. I can't think of his name. I'll give him credit later or put it on the episode or something. But
his name...
Yeah, put it on an episode.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like there's always been there's always been those guys in every, you know what I mean, generation willing to make those sacrifices. But it's rare when the top guy in the world is willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
When you're an NBA player and you have 3 million followers, but being an average NBA player, you know what I mean, and being him is two different things. Like I was telling my girl, she ended up working with a girl who was like the baby mom of like a really, really huge NFL player. And I was telling her, she's like, oh, he's played football. I'm like, no, he don't just play football. He's different than the rest of them. Everybody else play football. Like some of them dudes are different. So when you're in that position where you're getting $100 million contracts and you're Nike's #1 athlete, you have schools and buildings and you're willing to stand up and say some shit about that, that means a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That means a lot.
My favorite pick for that, also a person that's pushing, I would say black culture, who's pushing for me is Dave Chappelle.
Oh, for sure.
I know a lot of people don't fuck with Dave Chappelle, but the reason why I look at Dave Chappelle as an important figure, only reason why I look at anyone as an important figure is because they embody things that I value as character attributes.
Yes.
I value them as character attributes for people to have for themselves as a collective and as individuals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is like, firstly, to be willing to address things that are uncomfortable, because communication is like vitally important in this world. And I think that America is breaking down because there's a breakdown of communication. Yeah, even the way that people communicate what they are passionate about is
horrible.
Is a terrible,
people have horrible communication skills.
And it's just like you automatically expect and demand people to be knowledgeable about what you care about. How fucking narcissistic is that?
Yeah, and more importantly, people automatically expect or demand themselves to be knowledgeable about certain things. Well, sometimes like
you got all your information off of fucking TikTok.
Yeah, sometimes like number one thing is like, it sounds so funny from two niggas who just started a podcast. Excuse me.
I mean, but we didn't just start living though.
Living
for a little bit.
But it's funny. I have to say this sentence, and it does sound funny coming from us talking in front of some microphones. But it's okay to shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just mean, if you want to start a podcast, go ahead. I'm not talking about talking. Like, I'm just saying, like, some people just feel the need that, like, every single thing, like, no matter what with this podcast, there's going to be certain shit that me and him don't comment on. We just had a conversation about that with the last episode. Like, yo, you came in like a wrecking ball. Like, we can comment on that, but, like, we got to be like, whoa, there's certain things you just stay careful with. Certain things that, like, honestly, we maybe don't need to speak about because maybe we're not that knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I feel like a lot of people feel like no matter what happens in the world, that they have to be the first to go comment on it. They have to make a move on it. They have to, all right, well, I gotta get my opinion on it. And it's just really, really nasty. You know what I'm saying? It's always, it's never knowledgeable. I won't say never. And most of the time it's never knowledge. Most of the time it's not knowledgeable.
Most of the time it's not knowledgeable.
You know what I mean? They're not doing their research. They're not actually looking into the topic.
And most of the time they're speaking for someone that they aren't.
Yes. At a perspective that makes no sense.
Like, okay, for example, to me this links. In my brain, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, and I don't feel like I am, I don't want to be considered a person of color. I don't like that term. I don't like person of color. I don't want to be a person of color. Especially when it's coming from a white person. I'm just going to keep it funky. It's not even
a black person is kind of weird, but it's really like a person of color. I don't like the person of color.
My thing about it is, it has nothing to do with the fact that people of African descent were once referred to as colored. That's not even where it's coming from for me. Yeah. Where it's coming from for me is that people are always trying to either group us as African people or people of African descent, or they're trying to diminish the connection to our very rich heritage of, being Native and African. You know what I mean? It's always like trying to diminish that or hide that or sweep it under the rug or group it in. Like, don't call me a fucking person of color, bro. And the reason why I don't want to be a person of color is because when it comes to being a person of African descent, a person who chooses to represent themselves as a person of African descent, I don't have an easy way with people of color. Like, the motherfuckers who are non-white still don't fuck with us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not across the board, but what is across the board? Like, I mean, I feel like
nothing's
sometimes,
across the board.
Right, I feel like
people got to stop thinking in general when
right,
they say
well, not every man.
like everybody,
okay,
like,
motherfucker,
like I hate that. Like we're never talking about every single motherfucking person and anybody. Black,
right.
white, orange, blue. We speak about people. We're speaking in general. We're not in general.
Right. And so like, I don't enjoy that term, person of color. I never did. I don't want it. It's called BIPOC.
Yeah.
By whatever.
What's it called? When did that come out? Who dropped that?
The B is for black, and then the I is for indigenous, and then the P is for people, and the O is for of, and the C is for color. I think it's called BIPOC.
When did they have the meeting, and why wasn't I invited to the meeting when they came up with this?
Who
BIPOC, came up with this?
Like,
I'm not BIPOC.
Even though there's a black in there, like
BIPOC.
Still, bro. No.
BIPOC sound like a freaky ass Tupac Shakur.
That sounds crazy. Like, I'm not BIPOC.
BIPOC sound wild.
I just realized bi-2.
Yeah, like
BIPOC?
BIPOC sound like a freaky ass Tupac Shakur.
That's not it.
That sound like a nigga who's dressing like Tupac in porns doing wild shit.
BIPOC.
BIPOC.
You gotta get punched on behind that one. Nigga.
Not BIPOC.
Not BIPOC.
Not BIPOC. Not BIPOC. Don't call me BIPOC.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not with that. I don't like it. I don't like it. And that brings me to another topic, man, where it's just like, stop labeling shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I think it's important to stop labeling shit is because when you get obsessed with giving everything its own space and organizing it, you actually end up doing the opposite of what you set out. For example, let's say your crib is dirty, right? It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 100 items in your crib. And those 100 items can be broken down into 5 categories that you're going to organize, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you're of the mind of thinking, you're picking out all those minute details of each item, and you're suddenly like, well, these 100 items can be in 20 categories.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, actually, these 100 items could be in 50 categories. And then you get right down to the point where instead of organizing your place, all you've done is given 100 items, 100 labels, and still have 100 fucking things all over the place. And they might be put up in some particular corner or some shit, but you don't have enough space. So you still just got 100 fucking things laying around. But now they just got labels on them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's organized.
You ain't really getting anywhere.
You didn't organize shit. You just slapped labels on everything that was on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, that's not putting things in perspective for anyone, not even the people participating. And when I'm talking about labeling, it goes deeper than BIPOC and LGBTQIA. It gets down to the nitty gritty of every fucking thing, to the point. Even this vegan shit, like, I've been plant-based. I don't like to say that I'm vegan because vegans are fucking weird.
Yeah.
They're weird as shit. Like, they be talking about you can't eat avocados, you can't wear leather. And I understand the overall gist of being like, oh, the leather, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not saying nothing to no fucking hunter who went out and killed and tanned his shit and made some leather jacket. Nigga, wear your fucking leather. You know what I mean? Like, I think that people are just super, like, aggressive, like we said earlier, like, about this whole, like,
horrible communication skills.
What I believe in.
Yes.
It's wrong to do this.
It's very attacking.
Nigga, I think it's wrong to not wash your ass every day.
Yeah.
But I'm not out here attacking you funky butt motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really not. Like,
letting you generate stank and peace.
You know what I mean? So it's just like...
But yeah, I know what you mean. To me, it's really about tone. Like, I hate people just feel like they can try to talk to you like you stupid, but because they're saying the right thing, people should listen. Like, I try to tell people all the time, if you walk in a room talking to 100 motherfuckers like they're stupid, I don't care if the roof is on fire and you're telling them to get out. If they don't see smoke and you're talking to them like they're dumb, they're going to ignore you and die.
Yeah.
They're gonna ignore you and die in the fucking fire.
Yeah.
Communication is very fucking important. Like your tone can change everything.
Dumb piece of shit. The building's on fucking fire.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you talking about, you dumbass?
Yeah, it's just like.
But meanwhile, the building is on fire.
Yeah, like communication is
Communication is
fucking key, dog. Like your tone and inflection and your intention with your words and shit. It means a lot. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why the word nigga stays in my vocabulary a lot. Because I don't really believe in any of these words having that much power unless you're given intention behind them. I'm just not a believer in that. I'm a believer in history, and I definitely think that everybody should know the history of everything they use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless, but I don't believe in. I feel like we give words the power that they have. I don't believe in, you know what I mean, white people dictating what certain words mean to me. I believe in butchering the English language in every single opportunity that I can. That's one of the best things about being a rapper to me, is being able to stretch and make some of these words our own. We're stuck with a lot of shit, you know what I mean, over here, that we just kind of gotta, there's a lot. Obviously our whole entire lifestyle is indoctrinated in American shit. I was gonna say European shit, but I guess American shit is a whole different shit now from them breaking off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, like, at the end of the day, man, I think, well, at the end of the day, like, bringing it all the way back, right? In order to be great, another thing we talked about, sacrifice, we talked about action, and this kind of is like hand in hand with sacrifice. This is a sacrifice. I'm going to say this. One of the sacrifices you have to make in order to be great is you have to learn how to tune out. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn how to pick what's important when it comes to your media diet. My nigga, you gotta learn what you gotta tune out. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean, like, if you engage in all of this shit, you're just gonna be one of them motherfuckers hyper labeling, misusing communication to make people feel dumb because they don't believe in what you believe in.
Yeah.
Or they don't ride how you ride on a particular topic. Like, you gotta learn how to tune out. Like, once upon a time, I dated someone who was like heavy into Twitter, and it really bothered me. And it bothered me because I realized in this moment how the person you're with feels emotionally affects your emotions, right? And that's something I don't generally like, but that's life. But the reason why I didn't like it is because whenever this woman was upset about a Twitter argument, it started to make me upset. Yeah. Whether it was at her or at the person she was arguing with, or at the fact that I don't feel like being upset right now, but I'm upset because I'm listening to you be upset. And it was just like, damn, like, you don't know when to tune out. Yeah. You on this shit all the time. Like, you arguing with niggas all the time.
About shit that don't have nothing to do with you.
About shit don't have nothing to do with you.
200 miles away.
But now it has something to do with me.
Away. Yeah.
Now I'm trying to be in this good mood and I'm trying to console you about some shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't matter at all.
And I think in order to be great, we have to make sacrifices, we have to make action. But one of the sacrifices we have to make is tuning out of some shit.
Yeah.
Like, letting some shit just be.
Some shit just gotta roll off your back.
I stopped, you know, I'm deleting Facebook soon.
Yeah.
I'm deleting Facebook soon. The only person I contact on Facebook is my mother, and she now has she's always had a cell phone. The other person I used to contact on there also has a cell phone. There's no reason for me to have that at this point. And the reason why I'm also getting rid of it is because when it reminds me of my old posts, it reminds me of shit that is fucking cringy. Like, back when I was just like commenting on everything. Like, I was just responding to shit that was stimulus. Like,
yeah, to be honest, I don't even know why I have it. The only reason I have a Facebook at this point, I don't even know why. I really just stay in touch with family members and the post shit, because most of the comments that I could write, bro, I spent on so much time, bro, typing up shit just to delete it on Facebook.
Bro, now I don't even type it anymore. Now I'll think it, I'll want to say it, and I'll be like,
yeah, I'm not even going to say it. To be honest, most of the time, I don't even really feel like engaged. It could be a regular conversation sometimes. I'm just like, you know what?
No, I'm not
about to just
there.
fucking.
I'm not getting
like,
on there.
I can't lie. I definitely dislike Facebook. Pretty soon, my Facebook's going to be all.
And it's not even,
as far as my family, you can hit me, but it's going to be all music.
And it's not even just a book. It's commenting on shit that I disagree with in general. On social media, I'm no longer engaging with content that I disagree with.
Sure. There's no reason to.
I'm just not.
There's no reason to.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to. At best, I'm going to see it and scroll past.
There's literally no reason to, bro. Like, cause I feel like a lot of like I tell people this all the time. Like, I'm not going to get into no argument with you unless I'm not getting into no argument or debate with anybody unless I can teach you something or learn something. If neither one of those things can possibly happen, I'm gone from the debate.
Right.
And it's fine if I go to sleep believing what I believe and you go to sleep believing what you believe. I'm completely fine with that. I feel like people who can't leave debates or leave certain conversations without trying to convince somebody or get somebody on their side, to me, it just means you don't really believe what you're saying.
That's what
you're looking for,
means.
and you're looking for some kind of outside confirmation from me. Because if you can convince me to be like, oh shit, you right, then you'll start believing it. But I don't need you to believe what I'm saying for me to fully have conviction in it.
Right.
So there's no point in me arguing you down if I'm not learning anything and you're not learning anything because you're not hearing what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no point. If we can't teach each other, I'm not about to have a shouting match with anybody. And that's what a lot of the internet is, just typing. It's just a shouting match. You know what I mean? It's just a shouting match. Like it's nothing really major. You shouldn't be mad at somebody for their opinion. You know what I mean?
I read this book a long time ago by the author Paulo Coelho. I might be mispronouncing that. There's a book called The Fifth Mountain. In the book, what it was about is unimportant at this moment. The thing that was important, there was a debate. There was a debate about a new lettering system that was coming from the Phoenicians, and they had an alphabet that was going to make the Greek alphabet even easier, and it was going to make writing easier, and it was going to give writing to everyone, and everyone's going to be able to read and write, or not everyone, but more people than before. And I hearing that, it sounds great. It's like, yo, that's cool. People want to read and write. But the debate was like, yo, everybody's going to read and write. Like, you know how much bullshit is about to be written? You know how much dumb shit is about to be fucking put out there in the universe for people to consume and think is actually fucking true? And that was the thing in the book. Like, that wasn't like the major plot theme or anything, but it was one of the things that really stuck out to me because when he said it, it deeply spoke to me about how I feel about social media. Yeah. And I'm like, social media is a place where, like, it's the Greek form. The Greek form was the most inefficient way to communicate ever. And all the Greek form was that whoever had the most status and the loudest voice was the person whose opinions were like heard and agreed upon. And so you telling me the motherfucker that's willing to, I have 50 million cows and bitches, and you motherfuckers should listen to me. And it's just like, bro, like, why are we listening to this nigga? He be beating his wife and shit. Yeah, we taking advice. Like, it's because he's loud and big, we gonna listen to this nigga. Yeah. And so that's what social media is. Yeah. It's just like, bro, y'all motherfuckers, we just gonna gravitate towards the people with the most followers or with the best reels or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, I heard that if black people want to moisturize their hair, they should put mayonnaise in it. And it's just like, that's I don't even know if that's true, but I'm never trying that shit. Yeah, enough people say it, though. Enough people say it, you gonna do that shit. Yeah, people do. That's what TikTok is. These TikTok challenges, nigga, all type of... The fufu thing really bothered me deeply because I've loved fufu since 2012. Somebody slandering fufu? I mean, it was a fufu challenge, which led to people slandering fufu. So people were just like, oh, I'm trying fufu for the first time and all this. And it's cool, yeah. It's like, no, connect with the culture, but stop doing things for the first time for the internet to see. For the fucking internet. Enjoy it for your fucking self, man. That's not over, bro. We passed that point, bro. It's done, bro. People, social skills start dying 10 years ago, bro. I told you 10 years ago. I remember when you said that. Like, I was in college. When you was in college. I was mentoring an after school program, and there was a bunch of kids in there. You know what I mean? They was in there on the computers and shit. I'm probably was like 23, maybe at the time. Interning the program. Then all of a sudden, this kid messaged me. He's like, hey, what's going on? You gonna go record some? It's just like a random message on some social media. It's like, probably was Facebook back then. I'm like, yeah, I'm wondering who it is. He's like, oh yeah, it's me. I'm across the room. I didn't want to come over. And I look up at him and he still doesn't look up. Oh.
He still doesn't look up. Like and this is a kid who sat in the program with me for like 3-4 days. He didn't say a word to me.
This is phase 4?
This is phase 4. Like he's in there, he's across.
That's weird.
He didn't say
Especially
anything
for
to me.
back then.
For 4 days. And then you just send me a message when we're in the same room. You could have very well came up and tapped me on the shoulder. But that's what I just knew, like when you have the option of not doing it.
Bro, you got to record. Like, you gonna reach out to me.
You could have walked in the studio and said, I was sitting in the studio. You walk over and ask me if I'm about to record. And he still didn't, and after till this day, like, I don't think he's ever said anything to me in person. I just messaged him back when like, yeah, bro, what's up? You got some music or something? I was like, yeah, I might come over and work on some stuff. He said, ha, ha, ha. And then I went over to speak to him after, what's going on, bro? He's like, hey, kind of looking at me weird and shit. And I'm just like, but it's just social skills.
Weird,
in a way, I'm happy that
that's
people.
Scary.
Yeah, in a way, I'm happy that people with that level of social skills or with those social barriers maybe have a way to kind of reach out. Because who knows? Without the internet, we probably wouldn't have a lot of these rappers. They don't really have a lot of social skills. A lot of these niggas can't talk, but they just really, really, really good at making music. I do believe in a lot of these dudes just being not social and being weird and being like true blue artists. But also, it's like you're right. The pathway that like it's opened the door for, but I think that's the good and bad with the internet. It's opened the door for a lot of bullshit.
Everything has double.
Everything has has a double-edged sword.
I do think that the internet. I do think that technology's advancements are more detrimental to humans and to the earth than they are beneficial. I think that's. I don't think that has to be the truth. I don't think that that's the rule. Yeah. But I think that that's how we've been doing it, though. Like, I don't think that social media's benefits outweigh the damages. I just don't think it. I think the amount of people who have developed anxiety and depression from being avid social media people, the amount of people who have a de-evolution of social skills, the amount of people who have committed suicide around their interactions with social media on a consistent basis. I don't think that our consumption of media has benefits that outweigh its negative effects. And it doesn't have to be the case. Like when you think about TikTok and the algorithm that they use in China, the algorithm in China is showing people technological advancements, it's showing people fucking inventions, it's showing people like, oh, here's the star student in the fucking Guantang fucking block. Like, they're showing people, like, good shit, bro. Like, they're showing people positive. They're showing people the type of shit where you used to be like, well, why don't the news show blah, blah, blah. That's what TikTok is doing in China. Yeah. But the American algorithm is just fucking twerk videos, dance videos, mukbangs. Like, you'll get some good shit on there every once in a while.
Mukbangs and twerk offs.
Like fucking ASMR shit. Niggas on there like, and it's like, bro, like, I'm not getting anything that's really, really beneficial from this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we stroking the mic when I'm like, it'll be mad as hell if I go on TikTok. It's like,
no, facts. That's what niggas be doing, bro. All type of shit, opening a bag of chips all close to the mic and shit. But that's the whole thing. I hear that there's people who go to sleep to that. No judgment. I mean, I like rain sound.
No, I'm judging. If you go to sleep to a nigga stroking the microphone, I'm judging you. That's a fact. we had like an hour yet. I think we hit like about an hour.
We hit an hour.
These shows be going fast, man.
We've dedicated to just doing an hour, just getting on and talking to
unless
people.
You want more.
Hour. You're going to want more eventually. But yeah, we're gonna hit you with the hour. And right now, man, the world is going through a lot of changes. A lot of strange shit going on, but we'll be back to talk about it.
Absolutely. And I got a question for y'all. I want you to really, really think about. Would you rather fight a horse-sized dog or 40 dog-sized horses?
Hey, yo. I would rather fight 40 dog-sized horses, nigga.
You'd rather fight? I know, you think about a horse-sized dog.
No, bro. I mean, maybe. Like, are they have the strength of a dog or they got the strength of a horse?
Got the strength of a dog.
I'm cool with that.
But they still got horse legs, though. So who knows how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But if you fight a horse-sized husky.
A horse-sized husky's fucking me up, bro. You have no chance fighting a big-ass dog. I just want to let y'all know that. Yeah. All right, man. This is the Lumber Loud Podcast. And we out until next time. Mm-hmm. Hold it down, man.
Peace easy.